Get your tires put on and tune your engine up.
I promised in my last Putt-Putt video that I'd follow up with one that had different solutions to the puzzles on future playthroughs, and while I'd bet a lot of you expected travels through time, I felt it's best to go with the Putt-Putt game that seems partially forgotten.
Putt-Putt enters the race.
You've also likely realized that you are not hearing my voice today. You are instead listening to the dulcet tones of Microsoft Mark. All of my last videos had audio problems ranging from a weak microphone connection to a background radiator clang, so I'm doing something different for the sake of consistent audio. This is also the closest thing you're getting to an April Fool's video from me. Live with it. Something also helpful is that text-to-speech doesn't really have an emotional range, so I only need to do one take, as more takes would be a waste of time. As long as there are no spelling errors, this should go smoothly. Oh fuck, so the plot of this game is that a pastiche of the Indy 500 has come to Cartown and Putt-Putt needs to gather the following supplies to be allowed entry.
Hi, Redline Rick!
Well, if it isn't my little buddy Putt-Putt. Are you here to sign on up for the big Cartown 500 race? If you want to be a race car, you have to be able to grip the road, race like the Dickens, and always keep safety first. So you might have to get some things. Here's a list of all the things you'll need to get. You'll need high-powered, high-octane gasoline, super speed radio racing tires, a safety helmet for Pep, and a triangular flag with the number 5 on it.
You know, humongous games often get jokingly compared online to early Pixar, as some worlds happen to be dead similar, so I have to say it's funny how it took Putt-Putt 5 main games before the developers realized he could participate in a racetrack when it only took the Cars franchise about 5 minutes.
Thanks, Redline Rick! I can't wait!
Oh whoops, there's an elephant in this room, and no, I don't mean the neo-fascists. This was the first of 3 Putt-Putt mainline games where his voice actor was replaced. From as far back as his pixelated trip to the parade, he was voiced by Jason Ellefson, but suddenly when going to the races he was now voiced by Nancy Cartwright. Yes. That Nancy Cartwright. Humongous clearly had a bigger budget if they could afford such a recognizable voice. Not even the only time, considering Pamela Adlon voiced Pajama Sam. By the by, remember that Microsoft Mark is the one talking in this episode and not Wyatt. If Jason or Pamela or Nancy's name were mispronounced, that's the software and not me, the script writer. I didn't mispronounce
I know! I can get whatever I need in Cartown!
Let's take a look around Cartown for a bit first. Like normally you have a way to change Putt-Putt's paint job, but there is also a car wash, a fire station, a farm, a grocery store, a milkshake bar, a tire emporium, a toy store, a library, a construction site, a tunnel, a junkyard, and several homes for the NPC cars. Many of said NPC cars are actually from previous games, as far back as Rover from Goes to the Moon to as recent as Outback Al from Saves the Zoo. While on the subject, I'd also like to share a gripe I have with the design choices. I've seen some people complain about Outback Al just having a real human chin, but for me, I don't really care for the heavy lipstick on some of the women cars. There's an old animation principle that if you want to tell the difference between a male and female design, you just slap eyelashes on the girls and you're done, which is silly to begin with, but here we go a step further and lay their lipstick on the lady cars. I wouldn't call it offensive or anything, it's just silly. Most notable on the bulldozer here, who genuinely reminds me of those old Dairy Queen commercials.
Now when you buy any food item at Dairy Queen.
You may have also noticed in some of these shots that there are these empty green bottles, and that's not decoration. You can click on these to make Putt-Putt pick them up and then bring them to the junkyard as one of the 2 ways you make money in this game. Money seems to be pennies, by the way, as the cent sign is used, but Putt-Putt and the other character refer to them as coins, so for all I know these are pirate doubloons. The Cartown economy confuses me, especially considering you also get stuff for free in this game just like the other ones. The other way to make money is by going to the stereotype grocery store car and picking a whole 3 foods for him.
How'd you like to do me a favor and go out on the farm and pick me up some more, huh?
Sure! What do you need, Mr. Baldini?
Well, let me see. I need a 1 tomato, a 1 ear of corn, and a 1 bunch of broccoli.
Okay, I can get that.
Excellent. You bring them back to me in this box, and I'll give you 2 coins, Putt-Putt.
Gee, thanks. I could use some coins, Mr. Baldini.
Playing this part again, it's not as boring as I remembered it being as a kid. Not to say it's quick-paced or anything, it's just less tedious than some of the other moments. This means it's not so bad if the random number generator doesn't give you too many bottles, so at the end of the day you really are getting money for nothing. Tedium is the word of the day for this game though. Sadly, this Putt-Putt game is bogged down harder than you might think for one of the later entries. Here's a tip for those who pick it up on Steam: the escape key. I don't see other reviewers mention this, but in humongous entertainment games you can hit the escape key and skip any cuts scene. From the actual cuts scenes of characters talking to as simple as moving to the next screen. Here's some video proof, an unedited clip of me recycling 3 bottles for a penny.
I'll need to put in 2 more bottles before I can recycle them. I'll need to put in 1 more bottle before I can recycle them.
Now here's an unedited clip of me recycling 3 bottles, but I mashed the escape key the whole time. See, world of difference, and basically necessary if you have to do the hubcap puzzle. See, this dog is supposed to bark if you get close to the area you have to dig, but the wait that it takes for the dog's AI to remember to do that is very long, so you really should just mash the escape key and dig the backyard until you find all 4 hubcaps. I don't want to know how long this would have taken me without the shortcut.
Hot ziggity! Would you look at this? A hubcap, some ancient treasure. Guess what? I found all 4 hubcaps, precious ancient treasures, and an old gas can.
You can keep the gas can, Putt-Putt. You earned it.
I like how that's supposed to be a joke that she's a greedy adult cheating me, but after the damage I did to her garden I think I'm the one cheating her. Pretty sure that was more than $20,000 minimum, and hope that ancient treasure is worth something.
Here you go.
Thanks! What do I owe you?
Are you kidding? I owe you. I mean, you're the guy who brought me back from the moon. It's free to you, Putt-Putt, always.
Gee, Rover, that's really nice.
Let's go back to that list for a second.
High-powered, high-octane gasoline, super speedy radio racing tires, a safety helmet for Pep, and a triangular flag with the number 5 on it.
In Saves the Zoo I said I'd rather not explain every solution since you can buy the game, but did give one solution to set the tone for how that game plays. For this one I've got something a bit better. See, I said that this game has different solutions on repeat, but I never said that was true for every object. No matter how many times you play, you always get the tires the exact same way. Each of the other times has a grand total of 2 possible ways to earn them. Even then, what I discovered, or at least remembered on this playthrough, is that for some weird reason the opposite solution is still hard-coded into the game, for lack of a better word. See me putting this random crap on a shelf. That's one of the ways you get the gas can, but notice the game is letting me do it anyway despite that wasn't how I got the gas can this playthrough. See me hammering these nails? For some reason it's being treated like a fun minigame when in reality this is how you earn the helmet half of the time, just not on this playthrough. So let's do the tires then, since there's no real variation anyway.
Putt-Putt, how's my little buddy?
I'm fine, Chuck, but what happened to you?
Oh, one of my rubber radials hit a nail, popped it like a balloon. I'm one stuck Chuck.
Maybe I can help.
If you would, I'd be a happy tow truck. How's about heading over to my tire setter and picking me up a tire patch kit? And judging by my tire, you'll need to cut it into a triangle.
You get the patch as Chuck said, then go to the library and cut which of the shapes you need. The closest thing to variation here is that it's not always a triangle like it was this time. Also, you don't need to cut perfectly, just a heads up. Now that Chuck is fixed, he'll happily help us get those racing tires.
Chuck, I was wondering if I could buy a set of those super speedy radial racing tires.
Best tire on the market. And am I ever gonna make you a deal since you helped me out today? Normally they're 2 coins apiece, but for you, I'll give you all 4 tires for only 4 coins. That's a savings of 4 whole coins.
What?
You mean to tell me that after saving your life the best thing you can do is a buy one get one? Being stranded on the side of the road didn't outweigh having BOGO on the brain. This is why I bothered telling you how to earn cash, as it is needed every single time because of this solution. It's not even the only thing you can use money on either. You need 3 cents to paint Putt-Putt and 2 cents to wash him, and while both are optional, it's not like you're going to want to leave Putt-Putt purple after the paint job. Switching has been such a fun thing to do in the past games, and as for the car wash, while I'm pretty sure it is not required, there was a good deal of work put into the animation, so skipping it seems silly. So basically, earn at least 9 coins and you can do everything, and both methods are easy yet tedious. You don't need money for anything else, it's all gifted to you through a puzzle solution or just by clicking on it. That includes the
Extra high-powered, high-octane gasoline. Fill her up.
which seems the weirdest to me, as regular gas being free actually does make some form of sense in a world of cars, as gas would sort of be like water and you get water for free at restaurants and the like. The premium stuff being free is like Coca-Cola being free at a restaurant, and that's a bit harder to swallow, but at least that's less bottles to recycle.
Hey, it's Chuck, and it looks like he's in trouble.
Once you have all of the items, you automatically go enter the race. Something interesting here is that you don't actually have to win the race. If you lose, you lose, and Putt handles it like a champ and says he had fun. But I'm an adult and play video games to win.
Contestants, start your engines. Go! How about that? First place. You were cruising. Good job out there, Putt-Putt.
Thanks, Redline Rick.
So how about it? You want to race again?
I would have done it twice to get the footage of losing, but the race is kind of stiff and not the most fun to play. Winning still felt good because of that, to be fair, so it's hard to say if I wish it was a bit easier, as that would be more fun, or if that makes a slight challenge for younger players, which makes it more rewarding. That will likely vary from person to person, but I think if I have to take a stance, then I wish the race was a bit easier, as the difficulty really was from stiffness of the controls and just how ridiculously hazardous some of the lanes were, as that is randomly generated, meaning sometimes it's just not fair, especially with the stiff controls. I think playing this once again, I've discovered why Putt-Putt enters the race is not as talked about. On paper, this should be the best Putt-Putt game, think about it. There's tons of continuity callbacks, it's one of the only ones to have different puzzle solutions, the animation is really good, and there's a money system that allows options for how the player earns said money. But in reality what happened was that there's a bigger feeling of tedium than usual for Putt-Putt, and the one puzzle without a branching path sticks out like a sore thumb against the other ones. At the end of the day, enters the race lands somewhere in the middle for the series. I can see why some people are more nostalgic to the older pixelated ones, and as someone who prefers the later entires, I don't pick this one nearly as often. If Saves the Zoo was a 7 out of 10, I'd say Enters the Race is around a 6. I even like the next Putt-Putt game I plan on reviewing more than this entry, and no, it's still not the one you're probably expecting.
I think it's going to rain. Are you ready to go?